Hello.
Hi.
Hello, all. We're here to share the information that we learned about when we went to the Speaking and Listening Conference. And the main thing that we took from it is that it's super important that we're explicitly teaching what active listening looks like and what the discussion would look like in the classroom. And that's what we feel like is missing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start with the active listening part. Like Katie just said, it must be taught. So each teacher must establish norms on how listening is valued. Exact like body language. What does active listening look like? What does it feel like? Katie has a chart in her room that is just very simple about what your eyes are doing, what your legs are doing, what your feet are doing, all those things.
And this is constantly being referred to after we do things. Sometimes I'll even hang it up, and as kids are talking or doing discussion, I'll just come around and put like a little tally mark, and right away they look and they start to do what they're supposed to, what the expectations are.
Mm-hmm. Corey and I have been talking that we might do something like give me 5, and we're going to break down what that means, like your eyes on me, your mind is thinking. Obviously, 4th grade expectations will be a little bit more than first grades because we have to get that thinking in there. Even though it says brain is thinking, it just worded a little bit differently. So we just kind of feel that, and I'm speaking for myself with my 4th graders, that the active listening is a struggle. They don't know how to listen. Their hands are in their desk all the time, and this just kind of came at a right time. So the expectation is that right now some of you do have anchor charts up, which is great because I've walked around and saw a couple. If you don't have one, the expectation is that you will have one. You can go on Pinterest, Teacher Pay Teacher, Google. There's just a ton of them to go on.
And this can be in any form.
Yep.
So it can be in a visual, it can be on an anchor chart, it can be I can statements.
Mm-hmm. Just be aware that as you the grades get up, you will find less. It gets a little harder to find 4th grade expectations, so you might have to create something of your own because, like we're learning that this is taught in the younger grades and just reinforced as it went up, and it's not really doing that here. So the active listening must be explicitly taught, modeled, and continually referred to and evaluated. And then the students hopefully will be more prepared for the second process that we feel we have to. It's an ARCH standard. The second part is this focus on the collaboration, discussion standards, and expectations. These are scaffolded as well from kindergarten up to middle school. Now, some of these, we've seen these on our report card before, but this in-service just kind of brought all this up, how important, and they've tweaked a couple of them a little bit. So what the expectation is that these skills and standards need to be assessed in all subjects. We feel this will give you an understanding, you'll understand your students a little bit better. So, I typically would use these standards when doing lit circles, but I learned at this conference that strategies that Jay Marco has taught, we should be doing it during that. So if there's a jigsaw or a pair share, save the last word for me, that I should be walking around with my clipboard and just checking and zeroing in on a few kids every day. So if we're continually assessing, it's not going to become overwhelming. Middle school teachers, you should talk to Catherine about her expectations because we had a discussion with her at our last conference and she's got some great ideas on that. When you get into those collaboration standards, it's good ideas to also have up some of these sentence starters or conversation starters, and we'll get you some of those maybe in a link or in a copy or something. It just helps the kids focus on what their task is while they're in their small groups or partner group. So once again, these norms of collaboration and standards must be explicitly taught before you begin assessing them. So as we wrap up here, we just want a couple things clear. That each teacher, each classroom has to have a visual, an I can statement, or an anchor chart listening the active listening guidelines like the chart that Katie had before. You also need to have the collaboration discussion expectations up. So those could be an I can't statements as well. You will each get a sheet that will help kind of break those down, and like we said, those are scaffolded. So Katie has these
observations, but what they are basically is they're just observation logs where you write the kids' names, and the standards and the expectations are over here, making it very easy for you to just walk around and check. And you can have this during science, during social studies, and so forth. Another sheet that we're going to give you along with that is something that's called the norms of collaboration, and these are just seven things, and this is mostly for the older children. As you're learning to discuss and have conversations with other peoples, what are common skills, common things that you need to know, and what would it look like? And so these are something too that the older children might have on their expectation sheet or their visual.
And these anchor charts, the reason we're having these up is that so you can be looking at them and reinforcing, and your kids can see them too. And you just have to kind of refer. Remember, this is up here. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So we're hoping the active listening guidelines come first and explicitly taught, and then it'll kind of lead itself seamlessly into the expectations for the collaboration discussion. So we're giving you a timeline because we know people are going to come and ask us what's the timeline. So we really would like these charts or anchor charts, the visuals, the I can statements, whatever you're comfortable with, up by the end of this first trimester. And the collaboration piece will come later or however you're comfortable with that. If you have any questions, please come and ask.
So please come and see me, and I will give you both of these sheets for your grade level, and we will make it worth your while.
Come and see us.
Thank you.
Thanks.